Go out there and be awesome. Just do it.
Welcome to the mess.
On the surface she looks fine, but what's inside ain't always in line. Life is good, life is bad. She's a mess, but a happy one.
Hi, I'm littlehappymess and welcome to my podcast.
Story time. Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Littlehappymess. Today we're at episode 20. Woo! 20 episodes already. Wow, it's been quite a journey for me. Yes. So today I want to talk about how to just do it, how to go out there and how to do that project you always wanted to do, create that business you always wanted to do, pursue that career that really fills your heart. Why? Because I haven't been doing that since I was like 24, I would say. I slowly started. And I think everybody can start earlier, but whatever age you're in, you can always start. So I think that when we're kids, we always have dreams, you know, like we dream really big. So there's kids that tell you they want to become president or that they want to save the planet, the oceans, that they want to become a doctor, a nurse, because they want to help people. So they have those really innocent ideas of how their contribution to the world improves the world. Basically, every kid dreams about that. And I already talked about this in the episode 1, Let Us Kids Dream. I already talked about those dreams and how, you know, we're socialized. I'm Pam, so I'm kind of doing a little wrap up. So usually as a kid or at some point when socializing has started, we tend to take our dream and just, you know, put it on pause because we think it's unrealistic, because we think or maybe we're told there's no money in it, or, you know, maybe we've been laughed at, so maybe there's even like a traumatizing experience around it, whatsoever. It could also mean that, you know, our parents or family, friends, whatsoever, meant well by telling us not to pursue that, or, you know, by like, it's okay, yeah, you want to save the world. We know you want to. So they actually mean well, but yeah, it's not really it's not really contributional. That's not a word. It's not really helping you. Anyway, so at some point we drop those dreams and we start pursuing careers or projects or, you know, fields of study whatsoever that we think we want to be in, that we think we want to do. But in most cases, it's not that. It's maybe something we're good at. So it's maybe something we're good at, or a career where there's a lot of money in it, a very stable career, very stable whatsoever. It's maybe something our parents want us to do. It's something all of our friends do. Whatever it is, we maybe even think that it's right for us or that it's the right thing to do. But actually we disappoint this kid's dream, which initially was to save the world. However that was, you know, there's many ways how to change the world for the better. So what's the problem with this? So with socializing, it's like we get taught a different value system. So I'll give an example so you understand. My case was the following. So I was very, 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 very sensitive as a kid. Very. You know, whenever somebody told me a sad story or somebody has experienced something bad, you know, I would start crying with that person, and it would really it would cause me the same pain that that person was feeling. Okay, that's maybe exaggerated. It was causing me pain, and people always ended up comforting me instead of me comforting them. So I even got told, Nina, I can never tell you anything because you always get upset, even though it's not even you that had some part in the story or whatsoever. And my parents realized that very early, that I'm very sensitive, and they meant really well by telling me, Nina, you're such a good person and you feel with everybody. It's not good for you to work in social sector in some kind because it would upset you too much. It wouldn't benefit you because you would end up sad all the time and maybe depressed and whatsoever. So they didn't want me to pursue any career in that kind of direction. They also didn't tell me off, like, you cannot do this and this. But in my head, they were right, obviously. And I thought, no, I cannot do this. They are right because they were right. I was very sensitive and I had a hard time. What's the English word again? Like to put distance between me and other people's stories, drama, whatsoever. So in German, it's Abgrenzung. So to like draw a nice border around myself and, to differentiate between me and another individual. So I ended up doing something that I was good at. So I was pursuing a business career. So I was doing a business school, and then I ended up studying marketing and sales, and I was good at that. Like, there's no... there's nothing that says differently. I had very good grades and I enjoyed studying what I was studying, and I learned a lot of great things and I wouldn't miss the time. But like I think it was the second semester was the first time I wanted to quit. And then came the third semester, like when I was studying, and I went to Colombia, and I was just there and I saw like so much poverty, but then also so much generosity. The university I was at, they had really cool programs where you could just volunteer in so many different programs to support local communities or support kids. And I was in a comunidad, so like a favela, like, I don't know, like a trailer park. No, it's not really a trailer park. So like a poor area, kind of like. And I was in an institution that provided like after or before school activity, so that the kids were not on the streets where the parents usually worked, because the parents didn't have time for them, and they would have been with them, and I was just like in this institution doing homework with them and like playing games with them, and it was really cool, that experience, and it filled me up. Like, I really enjoyed doing this. And then I came back to Austria, and then I did like a presentation about my work that I did there and also my holiday. And I invited my prior teachers and friends, and everybody could like donate money. And then I gave that money to the organization in Colombia that I was working for. And you cannot imagine how much joy I was feeling, like, knowing that this money is going to those kids that I loved working with in the beautiful organization, and it made me really happy. And I once more realized, because there were moments before, how much I enjoyed working with people and how much I enjoyed making a difference and how much I enjoyed, putting a smile on somebody's face, helping somebody in some kind of way. And then this was the one part, and then the other part was I saw so much poverty, and I saw people struggling. I was in an area in Colombia where there was one road where like a normal, like, how do you call it, like where cars can drive on, asphalt. Oh my God, and concrete. One concrete road and maybe two universities back in 2015. I don't know how the situation is now. And I was just like, why? What am I doing about this? Like, I'm just there studying marketing. Marketing is not going to help anyone. That's what I thought. And I got really upset. I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing a business degree? I want to help people, and I'm not helping anyone by promoting products that no one needs and writing catchy advertising slogans. No one needs that. People need like real help. And I had a real crisis about that, and then it continued and continued, and after I finished the degree, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do now? So I worked as a driving instructor, then I worked in marketing again. I was like, I cannot. And then I started a field of study which wasn't really mine. It was too general for me. And then I once found the healing practitioner course, which was in 2021, I think, or 2020. No, 2020, before Corona. And I suddenly felt like, that's what I want. And it made me so much happier. And then I also how do you call that? Like I thought about my beliefs around marketing, because I still had to work in the field. And I realized that it doesn't matter where you work. So it's not necessary, or it wouldn't have been necessary for me to do the healing practitioner. It's just something that really fills me up to help people one-on-one, and psychological topics, mental topics, because that's just what I think I gained some expertise in throughout my life. But you can help people with anything. You're like, if you do marketing and then you market great products or great services that really make a change, or that you're really passionate about, then that can be shoes too, or something that might not be needed, but with you putting your heart in, you're helping a lot of people. Same goes if you're a very passionate cook, like your food is contributing to people feeling well. So it doesn't always have to be you, let's say, being in the Amazon, working there, because maybe you're not the kind of person. But we can all change the world in our unique ways. Wisdom! So let's get to the good part. I kind of drifted off a little, because I I talked a lot about what I didn't like doing and then what I liked doing. But the project that I started filling me up inside. It's not something that I dreamt about as a kid. As a kid, I just wanted to be a good person and to help people. So this whole like helping people, making their lives better, this is like my child's dream. So when I was 12, I found this, like the very famous saying by Mahatma Gandhi, which is be the change that you wish to see in the world. And that was my, like, I still have, the thing that I cut out from somewhere, I don't know, like the letters, and I always have them, like wherever I live, I take them with me, because this is my essence. This is what Nina is here for, and this is what Nina feels passionate about, and this is what Nina feels drawn to. So that is my childhood dream. And like, be the change that you wish to see in the world is something that you can do in no matter which area. So like I already said, you can be a chef, you can be a hairstylist, you can do podcasts. I don't even know how I got the idea about podcasting. I think it was because whenever I felt bad, I always listened to podcasts, and there is so many podcasters like Laura Marlina Seiler or Joe Rogan or man, there's so many podcasts I listen to, but these are the two where I probably listen to the most. They really inspired me, and they really made me realize some things. I could go to my coach and talk about topics that they mentioned in their podcast episodes, or maybe I was feeling something, like I was feeling anxious, and then I found a podcast episode about anxiety and it really helped me, or not, but at least it comforted me. And I somehow knew that I wanted to do that too, because I like talking. And, I want to reach as many people as possible. And what do we have the internet for? So I thought that's really great. And like I studied marketing, I really like graphic stuff. So I really got into that. So I could combine my love for this whole helping people change the world for the better with the creative gifts that I was always a little a little careful and a little shy to embrace, but like the podcast really made me start doing it. I started drawing more, and I started painting, which is something I never did, and the podcast showed me what I was capable of, and that everything is possible, kind of. And I think that everybody's childhood dream is exactly that. If you start going back to that dream, because we all had it, and if you start setting steps, and then there will be fallbacks, but the first successes, you'll be like, I can really do this, and you'll really light up, you'll get passionate about it, and this passion guides you through the times that are shit, when it's like a lot of work, or when things don't work out, and it's really different kind of working. So I put a lot of work into this, but it most of the time doesn't feel like work, because it's just, and I'm like, oh, I have to record a podcast episode, and then I do it, and I'm like, I love it. So that's basically how it goes every time. And that's a really beautiful thing, when you do something that you don't actually earn money with, which is my case right now, but you still love doing it because it just brings you so much joy. And there's people telling you that what you do is cool, and you're really proud of yourself, and you maybe found a new skill, and then you build on those skills, and you see what's possible. And I think many people are too scared to pursue that dream, to go out there, to go on their mission, because when I said I want to start a podcast, no one said, well, Nina, that's a stupid idea. Everybody said, hey, that's cool, that's awesome, but how are you gonna earn money with it? They were just concerned about the, how do you call it, like the, oh my God, today I never find the words. So they were just scared that the financial part would that I would just not gain anything and then just do it, and yeah. Anyway, but that was the only concern they had, and no one really put, how do you say that, like, no one put stones in my way. Everybody was like, yeah, Nina, that's awesome. Probably because I was feeling so shit that everybody just wanted me to feel better. And then I was like, I'm going to be a podcaster. And they were like, just do whatever makes you feel good. So I guess they kind of went light on me because of that fact. Anyway, yes, so why did I just say that? Wow. Yeah, but it can happen that maybe let's say you're in a very good position at your job. Let's say you earn enough money, or you already have a family to feed, or bills to pay, like high bills, like maybe you took a loan or something, and you have a car, and you have a fancy life, and everything seems perfect on the outside, but you're not fulfilled, like you end up empty. I think then it's really hard to say, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna pursue my childhood dream, and start with zero money, for example, or not start gaining anything there. I think it's harder to start something when you're already very successful with whatever you're doing right now. But that's something the prior episode or 2 episodes before mentioned, that maybe you have to redefine success in your head, because success doesn't only mean financial success. If you're not happy, then what does success really mean? Like, you can have all the money in the world, if you're not happy, sucks. The way I do it, like, I work my 30-hour job, So it's not 40 hours, but 30 hours. So I have 10 hours per week that I can dedicate to my podcast or more. But like, that I still have a nice and balanced life and enough money, to cover my expenses and so on. And that's okay, like we don't have to give up whatever we have right now and jump right into our project. We can also, start it slowly and then see where it goes, because it can also be that you don't gain any money with it. You just do it for fulfillment, for your community, for it can be anything. We don't have to earn our money with our passions, with our childhood dream. We can have another source of financing, so like another job, and then Fridays or weekends we help support our community. We work with people living on the street, or we provide. Maybe we're good at sports, so we provide free courses for students, or there are so many ways we can help, or we raise money for projects, and probably if you start doing that when you're not feeling very content in your job or career or whatsoever, and then you just start a project like that, it will fill you up too. Just like I mentioned my Colombia project, which really filled me up too, even though I was doing something very different back then. And the most important thing is to just start. And if it's just that you read a book about it every evening, or that you dedicate half an hour per week to it, it's just the starting part, because we think we have to have it all figured out, and I need this and this and that and time and whatsoever. But it's more important to start, because then ways come, portals will open to present you the things you need, So let's assume you are in a 60-hour job per week or whatsoever, and you say you don't have time. And then you start, dedicating half an hour per day or whatsoever to your project before you go to sleep, or when you wake up or something like that. And, you really start doing it. And then maybe at your job an opportunity comes where you can just work 30 hours or something like that, or another job is presented to you, or something like that. If you send it out there, whatever it is, it will come along eventually, or opportunities will come along eventually. And often things come around that you can't figure out with your own mind, because you need the universal mind to help you out with that. So, for example, with my podcast, just to give you an example, I didn't know how it works, the whole hosting platform stuff. And then I told a friend about the podcast. I was like very shy about it, because I felt like he's gonna judge me or something. And then he was like, Nina, it's so cool that you told me about that. I'm working for a hoster who is currently sponsoring podcasters who just start, and you wouldn't have to pay anything, and we can just host you. And I was like, what? That was an opportunity that I didn't think of. I didn't see that coming. And then it just came because I was talking about my project. Same goes with my friend Steffi and Soppy, who sing the intro. Like, it was just crazy how this all came together, the intro and them singing it, and so that was really a crazy experience too. And so many things just came into my life somehow, and I didn't think of them. So don't be afraid if you don't have the resources yet. They will come. And if they don't, then just start a small version of it. And I talked about this with my boyfriend, and he's starting up a business. Well, I think when you hear the episode, it's already started. So they're building a fitness studio. It's gonna be awesome. And he said there's three C's to starting a project, to living a successful life. And the three C's are curiosity, charisma, and cojones. It's a typical Pedro thing to come up with the 3 C's, but they're actually really cool. So as he explains, he says you need the curiosity, to always find new ways to further develop in your area. For his area, it's sport, and he always reads new books and then watches new videos, tries out new workouts, so that he always stays updated and finds new ways. Maybe he can, because he's really creative when it comes to his workouts, and then he finds new ways for workouts. He always looks for inspiration. He always listens. Like when I have an idea, he's like, yeah, and then maybe he can adapt it, and he walks through life really curiously, and it's very, very nice. He's very social. He talks to a lot of people, and then he asks people certain things, and then he knows how do you say that? Like, he knows where to look for information, but sometimes he's just there, like, open-minded and listening to people's opinions, advices, whatsoever, and it really helps him. So this curiosity part is really, really important, like, to fill your head with the information needed. So also be really careful who you spend your time with, what you're listening to, what you're watching, because it ends up in our subconscious mind, and if only beneficial information ends up in our subconscious mind, well, that's better than some radio bullshit or whatever. And then the second C was charisma. Here he said, if you want to be a leader, or if you have your project or whatsoever, you need to be passionate about it. You need to really love what you're doing, to spark this joy in the people consuming your product, or donating money or buying your cupcakes, whatsoever. You need to be really passionate about what you're doing, and really joyful around it, so that you can spark this joy in the people participating in whatever you're doing. And the third part, the cojones, he said you need balls to start. And I think you can grow balls, because I didn't have balls when I started, but you start growing them. And when you set this little stone, the first thing, my first brainstorming about my name, for example, it keeps moving, and it sets up a whole, like, it sets up motion, and so many good things will come. And whenever you're clueless, something else will come, and then you do something which you're really uncomfortable about. For me, it's whenever I have to talk to people on the phone. I'm like really awkward when I talk on the phone. Maybe I'm not. I just feel really awkward. But then I have this phone call, and I feel so much better, and I feel like I've grown my balls again. Yes. So yeah. That's basically it. So just go out there, start, and if it's half an hour a week, you don't wanna waste your time here on Earth. Our life is so short and so precious, and we should live it up. We should live it to our fullest, and our existence should be linked to purpose. That's so important. So if you feel passionate about something, remember it and start with one little stone. Further material. So for this week's further material, I actually have no recommendations, because I wanted to ask my boyfriend, but then I forgot. He's currently reading a book called Why, why we do things, and how important why is. So this why are you doing a podcast? Because if you have a strong why, even in hard times, you don't give up. I'll ask him again and then put the link in the description, because from what he told me, it sounds very interesting. I have absolutely no clue, because I didn't read it. But the caption alone says it all, because when I started my podcast, I started a very long process of why I wanted to do that. And whenever I feel insecure about it, I read it again. I actually have it next to my bed so that I can always read it. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, subscribe, like, comment. If you have topic suggestions, hit me up. I'm glad to hear from you. And yes, also go to Spotify if you're on YouTube. Go to YouTube if you're on Spotify. Recommend me to your friends. That would be awesome. Really, really awesome. The more people listen, the more content I can produce. Yes, I hope I see you next week. I hope you have a great weekend. And yes, have a bright day. Goodbye.